Hey guys, I'm Maniac 135, and kinda been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, I've been making some crap videos just to put out mainly for school, but I'm done with everything that I really need to get done. SAT's taken, APs are taken, I just need finals, and that's coming out. Finals aren't really happening until middle of June anyway. So yeah, hey guys, I'm back for good this time. This is a review of 3 movies I've seen in the past 3 weeks. If you know me, then you know I love a good movie, and I use any excuse I can to actually just go to the movies. And thank God I've had, for the past 3 weeks, 3 good excuses to go. 3 movies I'm going to review today are Water for Elephants, Thor, and Fast 5. Let's dig it. Water for Elephants I went to see with a group of people as we survived the first week off back at school after spring break kind of thing. And honestly, I was on a cruise the entire spring break. I didn't even know this movie existed until I got back. And I gotta say, thank God I didn't know it existed. Because, oh my God, is it bland as fuck. When it comes to movies, I am everywhere. Believe me, I admittedly like The Notebook. On the other hand, I fucking love Godzilla. Really big difference, isn't there? Difference between me and most people are, I don't judge it as part of a genre, that if I like it or not, I judge it as a movie itself. And I gotta say, this movie is boring. It stars Robert Pattinson, so of course that should have been like one indicator on how bad it was gonna be. Robert, you're actually a pretty decent actor when you care. And this is one of the movies you don't care about. No, this movie, you are not Edward. There's no reason to play an emotionless fuck anymore. It just baffles me why you still do. It also stars Reese Witherspoon, but honestly, I don't care about her at all. I mean, she doesn't act that well in this movie anyway. Big shock. The one thing that shocked me was the best part of the movie, which is also the best actor in the movie, the motherfucking elephant. It's really bad when this outacts this. And honestly, it's just a bland love story. It's trying too hard to be a Nicholas Sparks movie that it gets lost in the original story. My friend who saw it, who actually read the book, told me how much they even left out, which is sad. While getting out of the movie, I was wondering why they called it Water for Elephants, because they gave the elephant more alcohol than water. The original reason why it was called Water for Elephants was actually cut out of the movie completely. That's bad. And it's also bad that if one of the main driving factors of the movie, the backstory of one of the characters, Reese Witherspoon's, is actually entirely changed from the book. You don't do that, people! The two-dimensional characters, the two-dimensional romance, the two-dimensional story, everything's bland as shit! Honestly, if you're a girl, drag your boyfriend to it. That's what happened to me. Just know this, they probably are gonna hate it. I'm usually a more open-minded person when it comes to romantic comedies and other romances, but this was just inexcusable. I'd say it's better than Beastly. Actually, you know what, fuck it, no. It's just as bad as Beastly. And I'll give it what I gave Beastly in a review that I wrote for school. 2 out of 10. However, if you're a girl, I'd understand if you like it a bit, but guys, I'm sorry if you have to see it. Next up is Thor. If you know me, you know I'm a pretty big comic fan. I'd grow up watching superhero cartoons such as Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. If it's a comic book character, chances are I'm gonna love it. And even though he never really had his own show or something, he was one of the comics I would actually read. I usually read him with my dad. So naturally, when we first found out Thor was being shown, holy crap, did we just go nuts. But then in 2006 went through development hell, and we haven't heard from it again until the Avengers project. Iron Man first came out, and then they announced a bunch of comic book movies that we went nuts for. One of them was Thor. So thank you, Avengers. If you blow, I'm going to hurt you. So far there have been 3... So far there have been 3 movies in the Avengers series. Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2. This is technically the 4th. none of them have been bad, and none of them have been okay. They've all been either good or amazing. So that's what I was expecting from Thor. And the more I read about Thor, the more I got excited for it. And when I actually saw it, lived up to my expectations. The action was good, the acting was phenomenal, special effects great, and it was funny. Well, I don't think it rates up there with one of the best comic book movies ever made. It's still really good, and it's getting me even more pumped for the Avengers movie in 2012. And while it's definitely not better than Iron Man 1, I'd say it's better than Iron Man 2 and The Incredible Hulk. If you're a fan of comics, go watch it. You're gonna love it. If you're just looking for a good movie to watch, yeah, this. Because mindless action, and the plot's pretty easy to follow, so why not? My one problem with it is probably that the story's really, really light. Nothing really happened. It had the same thing that Iron Man 2 kind of had. Nothing really happens, except for a couple of things. It's more just filler until the next plot point. And plot points are few and far between. So while the story's a bit slow, the action more than makes up for it. I will say this, however. It is a great movie, but not worth it in 3D. So far, the only movies I think are truly good in 3D are Avatar, The Polar Express, and Tron Legacy. This is one of those movies that are just done for a gimmick. Don't bother doing it. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you spend your money on it. I'd say it's a good 8 out of 10. And last on this list is Fast 5. I'll start out by saying this. I haven't seen many Fast and Furious movies. The only one I have seen is Tokyo Drift. And my joke was that it was just Need for Speed the movie. So just warning you right now, this review is based on it as a movie, not as a Fast and Furious movie. So this is just how I feel about it, never having watched any of the others. And I'll start it out by saying this. Oh my god, how fucking stupid. How they make Brazil look is nice, but there's one thing unrealistic. The very beginning of the movie, after they break out Vin Diesel, and when they're walking into the favela, the instant they got out of that nice car and spoke English once, instead of all those people just pointing guns at them, they just would have been shot. And car probably stolen. End of movie. But for some reason it goes on, and the plot is nowhere. I mean, what I get from it is Vin Diesel's going to jail, and his team breaks him out, and then takes him back to Brazil in order to run away from the American cops. Problem is, how stupid are you, Diesel? Here's something I've probably learned. If you escape from jail and are wanted, and you become a fugitive, I don't think the first thing you should do is rob a motherfucking bank. If you're not a Fast and Furious fan, the plot's kind of nuts. And sadly, the one thing I've heard from the Fast and Furious movies is how amazing the races are. And admittedly, while I hated Tokyo Drift, I actually kind of liked watching the races, because those were at least enjoyable and semi-exciting. This had like virtually no racing, which I don't know if that's usually how a Fast and Furious movie is, but a movie all about cars and having a big dick while having that car, I'd expect some racing. When they're looking for a car fast enough to pull off the heist, they go to an underground Brazilian racing league in order to find one. And the exchange kinda goes like this. Você, Vin Diesel, eu sabe de você. I want your car. Bro, if you want my car, you're gonna have to race me for it. Oh yeah, well your car's an even bigger piece of shit. Oh no you didn't. Your car piece of shit. Let's race. Deal! And that's when I was expecting a big, exciting race. But instead I get a cut to the garage and them having already won the race. Hello! The only race that was in the actual movie was, and I'm quoting the actual characters on this, a straight race down a quarter-mile road to that stoplight. It's not an exciting race. It's just driving at night. Especially in Brazil. They didn't even have their nice souped-up cars either. All they had was What are you looking at me there for? But I will say this. The acting's pretty funny. And The Rock is fantastic in that movie. It's amazing when somebody tries to out Vin Diesel. Rock, I applaud you. And some of the stuff is just worldly stupid. The beginning action scenes on the train are cool, and this is not a spoiler because it was in the freaking trailer and commercials. They took a bank vault attached to 2 cars, only 2, and drove it all over Rio de Janeiro. I'm sorry, as enjoyingly, mind-numbingly that cool as that was, stupid! But sadly, I actually like stupid stuff like that. I mean, it's the summer. I'm supposed to be entertained, and admittedly, as someone with ADD, I fucking love explosions. And that was actually all this movie really was. I was always expecting Fast and Furious movies to have more racing, but instead it was explosion, 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 explosion! Which is actually a nicer change of pace for me. However, not knowing the mythology of Fast and Furious, and honestly feeling that everything in the movie was stupid and unnecessary, while I feel it was kind of a bad movie, I kind of enjoyed it. It's like watching the American Godzilla movie. Yes, everything about it is bad. Why do I love it so much? I'd definitely give this movie at least a 6 out of 10. Because while it was stupid and the plot was kind of weird, especially to a Fast and Furious newbie, it was the action scenes were really cool. And The Rock was amazing. And Vin Diesel is Vin Diesel. So yeah, there. I hope you enjoyed those reviews. And I know I'm really late on the Sonic 06 review, but I promise you, I am working on it. I'm writing. The original script I wrote for it was bad, like really bad, and I went to look at it again. So I'm rewriting it right now, and then I'm going to make it. If some of you were expecting a continuation of the storyline from the Shadow the Hedgehog review, I cut it out. I realized that I was losing focus of what I wanted to do. I was not reviewing a game more than I was telling the story. Sonic's Redemption, I've had the script written since November. I never quit that project. I'm waiting for my voice actors to give me lines. And yes, I gave it to them in November. Imagine, if you think you've been waiting a long time, imagine me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed these 3 reviews, and I didn't bore you too much. I'm back, people. Expect GameCon Legends Episode 3 soon. This is Leo Maniac 135, signing off.